Please insert drink and hit play.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BlueRayDismay. You have John Daniels here. I have my two counterparts.
The Right Honorable Javier Ian Marcellus Ignatius II, Esquire.
Jimmy!
And Bruno Diaz, a.k.a. Johnny C., a.k.a. Johnny Skywalker's, or Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, Bruno Diaz. Okay, hey guys, today we are doing a fifth of Joker. For those of you that know, we've already done a shot of, which is just our own little version of doing a non-spoiler forum. But in this one, since the 4K is out, we got it on hand
Feel
right
free
now.
to discuss.
Yeah.
Full spoilers incoming.
Full spoiler alert. So we're going to just bounce back and forth on why this movie was great, why it was not great, or whatever you guys think, whatever we think. And that's what the fifth of platform is. So today we're doing a fifth of Joker. And guys, if you just want to jump right into it, we're in the first scene here. I'm going to hit play on the 4K.
Well,
I'm going to get a drink.
just flashing through the movie here. The opening scene where Joker is just laughing all weird in front of his therapist. It kind of reminded me of a bit from It's Always Sunny, where all the gang is just like kind of just like talking amongst themselves or just doing their own thing, and then it pans over and you realize someone else is in the room watching them with them. That's what it kind of felt like for me.
Dude, is that show still going on?
Cause like yeah. And then, like, because she didn't even say anything to him, right? Like, it just shows him sitting there laughing, and then he, like, stops, and then it turns, and then she's just sitting there looking at him.
She's, like, a little freaked out.
Well, I think she's used to it by this
Like,
point. That's why she just goes with it.
Okay, guys, just a little bit of credits here. Directed by Todd Phillips. Writing credits go to Todd Phillips, Scott Silver. The creative credits for the Joker are associated to, or are credited to, Bob Kane, Bill Finger, Jerry Robinson. Apparently, they all three had they all had like a piece or a segment of what made the Joker up, and way back in, I think, in the 30s, maybe 40s, and that's how they came about. So that's how Joker came about.
I like how he's trying to be a comedian in this movie. That's kind of funny.
Yes, an unsuccessful comedian at that.
Yeah. Although I like the comedian joke that he made.
Yeah, just he delivered it badly.
Yeah.
Well, the one where he says, "Mom, I don't have to do anything in life," or
because I'm gonna be a comedian.
Yeah.
What I thought about, I thought this movie was all right. I mean, because I didn't catch it in the theater. I just like heard all the hype. One of the two people, huh?
One of the two people on the earth.
Yeah, I almost went a bunch of times, but just waited for Blu-ray to come out. But yeah, I don't know, all the hype kind of like just kind of I don't know, overwhelmed me a little bit to where I was like expecting a little more from this movie. But it was pretty good. I liked it. I got a few problems with it, but nothing too major. I don't know. It's pretty solid effort.
Okay, so
it feels like a what if, like with those old what if comics that they made back then, and then just made one of those into a movie.
You mean
it's
Elseworld?
Yeah. And then it's not tied to like any of the DC like universe or whatever. It's just like a standalone Joker bit.
I have heard rumor bandied about that. They're like, based on the success of this, they're considering a DC dark universe. I don't know how true that is. But
that'd be great.
I feel like that's probably gonna happen because this movie feels like a setup movie. It feels like an origin setup movie. That's the way it feels like.
Well, it's an origin story.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, movies are origin stories.
Well, if it's an origin story, then it's got to be leading to somewhere, right?
Not necessarily.
Nah, I think Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix said that they had no expectations, no anticipation, no reason to do a second one.
Oh, then why is it an origin story?
Because comic books love their origin stories.
I like it. I would have been. I liked it. It would have been better if it was just the Joker. It had nothing to do with the Waynes and like the whole like Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Part of the reason the Joker
works, stuff,
which they acknowledge but don't kowtow to, is that part of the reason the Joker works is because him and Batman are so diametrically opposed. Yeah, and that's why I had my initial hesitancy.
And Batman's not in this movie.
No, but let me explain it. That's why I had my hesitancy when I first heard about this. Like, oh, it's a Joker movie with no Batman, and I thought to myself, oh my god, it's just going to be another Venom, which, while successful, I thought was a flaming pile of crap. Because
like many others.
Because Venom, to be a successful character, needs that duology or dyad, if you will, or that counterpart in Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, that's a lot of the best Joker stories are the Joker against Batman, that duality, that.
Right, the constant yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang, back and forth.
I'm not saying that's
chaos.
not.
And they acknowledge that in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like surprised that they actually managed to carry off a decent more or less unbalanced character study, if you will, exploring one half of that duality, but but still successfully managed to make it interesting and not just a standalone nothing. Even though it is a standalone story,
Yeah, I think this
Surprisingly
movie. I think this movie was the shit. I think
It
it was.
yeah, it does. Sorry.
No, I think it was awesome. I did read some reviews similar to yours, Johnny Walker, where the expectation, the hype train, kind of everyone was like, well, some people were like, well, I thought it was gonna be amazing. I thought it was gonna be Avengers Endgame times 9,000 while on crack. Like, no, it's not really. You shouldn't base your expectation on like I guess social media hype. I mean, it was overly hyped.
Well, you guys hyped it up too,
But rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Another thing I saw that a bit of a controversy thing here. The song that they use in the epic scene where he's now fully unleashed in himself, he's now fully comfortable with himself, he's now the official Joker. He's dancing down the steps, the infamous stairway steps in the Bronx, in Gotham City.
Oh,
It was a song by the 1970s. It was a 1970s rock and roll part 2 song by this convicted pedophile guy. Allegedly, not allegedly. I think he was a convicted pedophile guy named Gary. This dude. And
Gary Glitter, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a whole shit ton of backlash. And one of the Twitter comments that I read was, "Oh, this movie is completely immoral sack of shit. I fucking hate it. It's a piece of shit. I'll never ever." I'm like, okay. One little and who knows if they even knew at the time. Maybe they're just completely oblivious, or whoever chose that song is like complete dumb. Or
what song?
To be fair, Lynn, to be perfectly honest here, it was before he was a convicted pedophile. It used to be sung at every goddamn stadium for every sports
every
event.
baseball, yeah, all the baseball games.
Oh,
that
song.
Yeah,
Is
that
that
one.
where he's going down the stairs?
Yeah, that was
That's
massively
what I'm talking.
popular.
That's what I'm talking about. No,
I thought that was terrible. I thought that was a terrible scene.
It emphasized his mindset. It was like the way he felt in his head was reflected through the soundtrack.
if you look at some of the previous scenes, he's trekking up the steps, always hunched over, kind of just slacking along, like, oh Jesus, this is my life.
I do like his death dance every time. Like every time he kills somebody, he does like
Yeah,
a
he
weirdo
does,
death dance.
Yeah.
Or
He kind
something.
of like unleashes. He kind of
Yeah,
like unleashes. Yeah.
So I like that part.
It makes him happy.
Yeah.
Brings joy into this world.
Another bit of
Sorry, I was gonna say something more, but the tie-in to the a good thing about this movie that it does do is what you're saying, Jimmy, is that it does create for a standalone movie, for it's just a Joker origin story. It does do a good job of creating a bigger world around it or whatever, and I think that's what they're trying to do. But it just leads itself to people wanting more of it and sequels and everything, which I think is going to happen now, probably.
Well, given the financial, someone's going to try and make something happen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
I think it was intentionally written that way. I mean, that's what I think.
I hope it just doesn't end up like Jaws, where we had Jaws, which was great, then Jaws 2, which was mediocre, and then the straight descent
mediocre.
And that's
into madness.
and that's why there's the Bruce Wayne tie-in. Like that's the whole like the Batman
part of the
setup or
mythology,
whatever.
though.
It's like so like
But that's part of the story.
I know, but it's just it feels like how it didn't need to be.
It needs to be part of the they acknowledge
He
that
could
duality with the Wayne family, with Batman, if you will.
It's Batman. Batman doesn't even
Joker-
exist in this world yet. That's what
Joker-
they're forcing the Wayne aspect into it when it doesn't need
It
to be.
needs to be there. I think it
No,
does.
I don't
actually
think
need
it
be
needs
there.
to
I think
be.
they handled it very well.
I think
I
didn't say like they didn't handle it very well. I do think
I'm
it
saying-
adds to his character like entirely for his whole turning point to becoming the Joker. But I think they didn't need to rely on that so much.
They
Like it would have been.
didn't.
I thought it would have been more interesting to just have the Joker be the Joker and not have to rely on Wayne somehow creating the Joker or something. Is he beating up a dude?
No, he's beating up a trash can. in
Oh,
this
okay.
scene.
I
No,
thought
but
he was
I-
like beating somebody up.
No, it's a trash bag.
Disagreeing,
Oh, okay.
Because I think they handled part of it. Part of what makes the Joker fascinating, and it's always what makes the fights with Batman interesting. Is that
Yes,
they are
I know.
so-
I get that part. I'm just saying that I don't like it. The tie-in in this
You don't
movie.
like, I think the tie needed to be there.
I don't think
Just-
it did. I think it's.
all
I
right. We'll have to
it
agree to
feels
disagree
kind of.
there.
Yeah, I kind of feel it feels forced and heavy-handed. Like
So wait, Johnny Walker, you don't want Bruce Wayne in this movie?
no, I think he can totally exist in this world. But the way he's directly tied to the Wayne, and he like goes up and talks to the like Bruce Wayne like the weirdo in the gate part and like all that. His mom is obsessed with the Wayne, thought and deranged. Like she could just be a crazy deranged person. Like she didn't have to be crazy about Wayne and all this other stuff or whatever.
In the,
Wayne can exist in this world. He doesn't have to be directly to like helping the Joker become the Joker. Like the Joker can exist without them.
The 1989
Not
Batman
really.
movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson had a direct scene where Jack Nicholson, in his younger years, shoots the Waynes and has interaction
Yeah, the
with
same.
the kid.
That's what I feel like too. Like in the '89 Batman movie, they did the same thing where they tied it. And that's not, from what I remember, that's not how it happened in the comics or something.
Comics have so many variations.
Yeah, but up until that point, I don't think it was that. And then that's what the movies changed, and then I think that's what this is kind of like falling back on too. And this does kind of feel like it almost could be like a prequel to the '89 Batman movie, a little bit.
Kinda, not really. Well, maybe it's just chronologically almost close, just about close enough.
Yeah, it is
This
almost,
more or
yeah.
less. For those of you who know, it's 81 more or less. Apparently, some clever guys figured out based on the posters and movie posters on the around this film.
Yeah.
So apparently, it's more or less mid 81.
So you just change one little scene around where the guy that shoots Wayne in the alley turns out to be this Joaquin Phoenix at some point or whatever during the riots, and then it is a prequel to the '89 Batman movie.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they don't make it that directly. But I think the way that it works is so connected is because they're both Batman and Joker are both symptomatic of the society in which they live, which is kind of a sick society, just based on the fact they can't even handle their own shit.
I do like the tie-in with the Waynes, how they're like, oh, the Waynes are suppressing the poor and all these people and all this stuff, and then the whole jumping off point for this whole weird movement, like everybody wants to support killers in the city that's going on here. There's where he kills those Wayne employees in the train, which is a cool scene, and then like that part is like everybody's like glorifying all the like the deaths of like these people or whatever, and then he that's when the whole clown thing becomes a thing, and like that's where he realizes he can be a symbol and all this other thing and all the other stuff. But I like that tie-in where he like that's a good tie-in to the Waynes or whatever. Like he's directly related to that. Like that, I feel like if it was just that would have been cool because it would have been directly related to the Waynes, how he's like fighting against society or against the Joker like craze and all that stuff. It's still directly related because he killed his employees, but not directly related to him like a father.
Were the stockbrokers?
And they're like almost brothers
Wayne?
in this movie.
Yes,
like what is going on here?
Were
like,
they
this
Wayne
is crazy.
employees? Were they Wayne employees? The
Yes.
three stockbrokers. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The Wall Street types.
Mm-hmm.
Which is there a Wall Street in Gotham?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Gotham
Shouldn't
Street.
it have been like Broom Street or something? I don't know.
Well, they're not almost brothers. I mean, that was kind of like where
That's where the movie was leading it to like lead you to believe, or almost it
No,
was
but
a
then
possibility.
when
Well,
he
the
went
draw-
to the hospital, it was clear that he was adopted.
Yeah, he finds out that he's not.
No, I think if they actually had been brothers, that would have pushed it over the edge. In what you
Yeah,
said
that would
to
have been a
be
little
Yeah.
too
forced of a
much.
connection.
That would have been a little too.
I think it already is too force of a
They're
connection.
No, but I
brothers.
think, like dancing back right to that edge and then dancing back from it, I'm willing to give the movie a little more credit. Is it's kind of recognized as, I guess, some character boundaries or test my credulity to the point where I don't break much suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna murder him in that bathroom. That would have been cool.
Oh,
That would have been a more like a different, because there already is a different origin story. Like it didn't have to be his parents died in the alley, blah blah blah. Like what if his dad died in the bathroom with some crazy dude like a Joker?
Then it wouldn't have been that. It wouldn't have been that impact.
It wouldn't have his intense.
It
Yeah, he
wouldn't-
wouldn't
it
became
would- he
Batman.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
Batman,
yeah.
because he still have his mom too, so he'd still have a parent.
Oh, true. Right.
Yeah,
right,
coping
yeah,
mechanism.
yeah.
I
So-
thought he was gonna kill him in that bathroom though.
But no, I think that's the thing. That's the Joker doesn't directly kill his parents, but by the chain of events he sets off, sparks off a wave of
Yeah,
crime.
and that's what that's what the
and
whole
that's what Batman's
movie
a
is.
direct response to. Like Batman's a direct response
And-
to chaos.
And he's a direct response of his mom telling him or finding out that he could be the son of Wayne.
Hey guys, here's a random question just to go sideways from the topic.
Go
All
ahead.
right.
I did have we had our guest speaker Crazy Todd for some of our Star Wars segments.
Yes.
I had a brief discussion with him about this, and he actually, from what I understand, he is not a fan of this film, and he actually made something where I've seen online too, a comment where he states, and several others do, that this is basically a rehash of Taxi Driver, and it's so
I heard
epic.
a lot of people say that
He's
too.
it's so epically cheesy
Yeah.
that they even have De Niro in this movie.
In the movie.
And De Niro starred in Taxi Driver.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys think that this is a rehash? That
I
this
think
is
it's
a
more.
ripoff? And
I
this
think
is
it's
a
more
complete...
of like a different
It's
kind
a
of.
variation
It's
on
like a
the theme.
nod, like a take on it. Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely influenced by. And
Yeah.
I would say that you.
But
can't
do you
deny
guys
it.
think
It's like if
a
you would
cheesy
take
knockoff?
if you would take that Taxi Driver setup like a couple steps further, and then you would have the Joker. I think that's what this movie is.
I don't know. I think their motivation is like the part of the reason this is not.
Just a man broken down
they
by
have
society.
They have similarities, but
help.
the responses and their characters respond to those crises in different ways, even though it kind of does end up going in a similar direction, a violent direction. And I'm saying part of the reason this works is not direct revival of Taxi Drivers. It's a character study of a victim who decides not to become a victim. And Taxi
Yeah.
Driver is a character.
He is kind of doing. Here's the subway scene. So he's kind of doing self defense here, and they're gonna like harm that lady probably, right?
Possibly.
And then like
it may have been going
he is
that
like
way.
almost the hero in the situation because they're just like douchebag, rich fucks, and then they're like harassing the lady on the subway train.
So what?
And then they're beating up some dude, some clown like psycho or whatever, like on the. I mean, they're drunk.
bunch of drunken bullies.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the
they're
same,
bullies here.
But I
yeah.
mean, at the same time, the audience is like probably the same on the side of the Joker here. Like that's what they're trying to portray him as is like, like oh poor Joker, yay, kill him. At least that's what I felt.
But then it's where he turns a corner, literally, where he where things
This
flip.
part's cool too, and the shots with the gun. Oh yeah, and like.
But let me get to this
Yeah,
point
go
here. The
ahead.
point where it turns the corner. He kills the first two more or less in self-defense. He could probably gotten away with that in a court of law. Where it turns the corner when it jumps the shark or turns on a dime is when he chases the guy and shoots him down.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. That's not a self-defense. That's a straight up murder. He shoots him in the back as he's fleeing.
Yeah.
So it went from, and it's a very, very thin
Cover your
line, but
tracks.
he
He's just
went,
smart.
He went right over that line because he has no boundaries. He's had trouble with boundaries, I guess.
Also, he's a psycho.
Yeah. Well,
Like mentally,
that's
mentally unbalanced. The
He-
dude, he literally says, "I'm not not allowed to have a gun."
right.
I think he tells his buddy.
Yeah.
Which
This
doesn't
is for this reason.
red flag laws didn't exist back then. But,
Yeah. Also, another part about like that huge part about that scene right there is the 8 shots. I counted it from before I watched it, and he totally shoots 8 times, and he doesn't reload. I checked both times. I just watched it again. He didn't reload.
There is a scene that cuts to the broker kid running when
He picks up his bag and he's all like flustered, like running around.
I guess he could have reloaded, but it's unlikely.
I said the same thing, and then I rewinded it and watched it again. And I was like, man, for how grounded and gritty and how realism, how like, oh, this is what the Joker would be, and like the society, and like how, yeah, it just wants to be so grounded and real. And it's like that whole like one little part just took me out of the whole like movie right there.
Well,
Where he
also-
literally just shot 8 times. Like he didn't have to shoot if he just take out one. It was like 1-2 shots he did. Like I think it was the 2 on the stairs when he just shoots them 2 extra
no.
times.
It's 4 outside and then 4 inside the train.
Yeah, so it's like he didn't like.
So,
It was
that's
just
it, the movie-
overblown. I think that just goes
It
to show like
completely
this
diminishes the movie for you now.
Yeah, it's like it totally takes me out of the whole for how gritty and grounded this movie wanted to be.
Alternative theory.
It just becomes like a stupid another like random. And I think that the filmmakers did it intentionally because they didn't want it. They didn't want the Joker to be that gritty and awesome or whatever. Because they're like subconsciously the audience is gonna know that it wasn't 8 shots and blah blah blah. So it's not real. He's not really feeling like all the whatever. And some weird like
Well,
conspiracy theory
now
like
you are
filmmaker sense
really
or
going
whatever.
off on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tangent.
Let me get my
I think that they
alternative
did it
theory here.
intentionally to soften up the Joker
Are
in
you
this
sure you're
movie
not
to sell it to
crazy?
more audiences. Yes,
Alternative theory that
subconsciously.
given that he's
soften
a
them up.
notoriously unreliable narrator, this movie's full of unreliable narrators. You can't exactly trust everything you see on screen. And given his history with Zazie Beetz there.
Oh
it's
please!
entire-
His
it's an-
fantastical delusionalism gives him extra shots.
Oh, that's
No,
actually-
shut up and listen. God, sorry. Just let me talk for a second while I try to explain my theory here. Is that given that we have unreliable narrators, he has a history of confabulating things or making up things that don't exist except in his own mind. It's entirely possible that subway shootout went entirely different than what we saw on screen. Is that maybe he was laughing, maybe they approached him, maybe he just started shooting, they ran off, maybe that woman wasn't even there. I think it's a distinct possibility that
Well, then
it
you
did
could
not
say
happen.
you could say that about any scene in this whole movie. Then
It's hard to tease apart what is real and not real. And I think that's part of one of the themes of the movie. Part of why it works is because you have these unreliable narrators and you get fed different versions of information.
Mhm.
Although you kind of have to end up that someone got shot, Joaquin Phoenix is nutty, there was a riot. You have to agree on certain things that did happen.
Right.
But I'm saying that they're showing you 8 shots, there's a distinct possibility they're showing you something. And given how much care they've taken into every other aspect of this movie, it is a possibility that maybe that did not happen exactly as you saw it happen, because that's how he saw it happen, but that's not what actually really happened.
for such a pinnacle moment in the movie, for like that really is like you said the turning point for the Joker. Like
Right.
I figured that would be how it would be happening, not some like fantastical part.
Well,
And like that's the turning point.
right. And that's partly why, because he breaks from reality and just starts shooting people. I mean, you can take it that way as well. It's a turning point for him, where he decides to finally break free from reality once and for all, and just go his own deluded way to how he thinks should happen or be. So
That's a good cover up.
cover up. I'm just saying it's an
I
alternative
like
theory.
the explanation, JVR. I think that's a spot on. I guess, point to that scene.
All right.
Okay, so we covered the taxi driver bit. Next item here in more recent news, Joaquin Phoenix did get a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in
Really?
a motion picture drama. Yeah, Mr. Who never watches the news. It just happened like a couple days ago.
Oh, Golden Globes. Oh, I missed it again.
Oh no,
Another year.
So anyway, he was dragged into as part of the whole segment. He was dragged into a line of questioning in a separate area, which he was pissed off about because someone said, "Oh, it's for photography or whatever," and he just stepped into this whole interview room and he was all pissed off about that. Anyway, one of the questions was from this one reporter, and I'll quote it here. A lot of praise for the film is sort of the very unique lens that it puts on the intellectual property. And obviously, sequel talk has been going on for 2 months now. Do you think that that sort of undermines the artistic expression of the film? And where do you see the character going if you come back? And his response was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I mean, literally, that's what he said. "What do you mean? What do you like? What?" Yeah. And the dude, the reporter, again, he just, I guess he simplified his ridiculous question. Was, I think there are some criticisms that, obviously, going right into sequels sort of just predictable and might undermine the exact reason why the film is so unique. Again, it's really weird. And Joaquin's answer was like, "Hey, look, I don't do predictable stuff. It came up because it came up. If a sequel comes about, it's because we're not going to follow some rule book because we're supposed to do it. It's because we're looking to explore the character." What do you guys think? Do you guys think jumping right into a sequel will undermine the artistic property of what this is? Do you think it'll undo this film? Do you think it'll dumb it down?
I think it was written as if it was leading to something, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sequel.
Yeah, given the amount of money made, Warner Brothers, there's like suits at Warner Brothers right now salivating and drooling on piles of coke going, "We could get another one of these out."
Yeah, how much did we spend on making this cheap-ass movie? Oh, we made how much off of it?
Allegedly drooling on piles of coke, my apologies.
Probably something harder.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm saying it's inevitable at this point, not artistic reasons, but strictly for commercial reasons.
Right. So the reporter dude, his question was more geared on like, "Hey, do you think it's gonna do you think it's gonna undo the greatness of this movie?" Who knows?
No,
I don't know. I've got mixed thoughts on that because unless you're George Lucas or Spielberg, you really can't undo the greatness of your previous movies. I'm looking at you, E.T. and Star Wars.
What did E.T. do? The gun. Yeah.
They're just like they sort of like
unnecessary.
That was like always the argument when you see like a shitty remake or a sequel. It's like they can't take away the original one because you always have that.
Yeah.
Except now digitally they can, which does annoy me.
Well, the original still exists if you have it.
If you're lucky to find it. I mean, good luck finding the original. Good luck finding the original Star Wars anywhere.
I have it.
Yeah, but I say good luck for anyone else who's not a massive fan. Bothered to track down the edition with the unspecialized ones on DVDs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I bought it when it came out, so get it while you can, buddies.
What Star Wars?
There are
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Ride that hype train. Those bonus features on the DVDs aren't going to come back later.
I mean, historically they do reuse a lot. People get annoyed like when they review Blu-ray box sets. It's like, oh, it's the same bonus features from the DVD, but not even up-resed.
Yeah. At least it's there.
Guys,
and this is where he finds out is maybe his son, his mom's just crazy. So yeah, I would have liked it better if he was just a crazy person and like becoming the Joker and not.
Well, he is just a crazy person and becoming the Joker.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this rides a fine line.
And like this, and it doesn't. Like she was like always obsessed with the Waynes, and she's like, "Oh, I'm writing a letter." And then this point is like, okay, what is this? 49 minutes in the movie, and then this is where it adds this whole other part of where he's like, it might be literally related to the Waynes and all this other crap or whatever, and it changes his whole who he is and everything. And I don't know, I felt like his escalation could have got caught in where he was going without that part.
Okay, guys. Real quick, again, sideways bar. Talking about revenues. Revenue estimated production budget of $50 million, and it has grossed over
50.
Yeah, 50, maybe 55 million.
Yeah.
It has grossed worldwide over 1 billion with a B, folks. Damn. With a B, 1 billion, which ranks it as the highest R-rated movie in the history
beat Deadpool.
Of R-rated movies. Yes, Deadpool had the title. I believe it was closer to the $775 million mark. That was for Deadpool. I'm trying to see in my notes here if that was for Deadpool 2. No, that was for the first Deadpool. Yeah, right. Production budget of $58 million, and it came in at $783 million worldwide. So yes, this beat Deadpool by approximately 25%. ridiculous revenues for the amount of production cost. It's just insane. And by the way, guys, this movie we're not counting China revenues because this was not released in China because there's all the riots and shit going on in Hong Kong, whatever the fuck. And they didn't want to like, use this as like a platform.
Still made $1 billion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even without the Chinese sales, which they have like I think they have 9 trillion people in their country right now.
This movie is overrated.
So it's an amazing movie, money wise.
Right, that's what I'm saying. A sequel is inevitable.
Yeah.
Someone's going to try
It only costs 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
The return on investment is ridiculous.
And just to break that out, guys, domestic of that 1 billion, domestic was 334 million. International 732 million. So
even domestic is.
Hey,
good.
were the Yellow Vest protests still going around France when this came out?
Not sure.
Oh, well.
Not sure.
That's the whole other area I want to get into. Like you mentioned, they didn't want to like show it in China because of Hong Kong.
Hey guys, going back to
the riots.
Going back to the Golden Globe thing. So that was question number 2, the one that I had.
So was that Ricky Gervais asking him the questions?
I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that would have been hilarious. There was another reporter dude who asked him, and Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if you guys have seen some of his interviews with like Jimmy Kimmel.
Weirdo.
Oh, he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
He is.
Remember that weird rap movie he made over the course of years or something?
He's got like social.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Like he's just a weird dude. He's an amazing actor. I completely respect him. But if you try and talk to the guy, he is like a freak, right? And one of the first reporter, the first question was that, hey, he asked the very standard, typical, hey, so what did you do to get and prepare for the film, blah blah. And he was, Joaquin Phoenix was just very kind of like very abruptly said, "Are you kidding me? Didn't we already talk about this 6 months ago? Is this old news? Like, what's your deal? Why are you asking me? Like, basically, why are you bothering me with this question?" So he's definitely a unique character in real life. I'm saying he's like a unique person in real life. If you try and talk to the guy and you see some of his interviews, it's just quirky. And then he went on to talk about veganism, and he also was calling out the like Australian wildfires. And at that point, the Golden Globes like shut him up. They put the music on like to try and cover up whatever the fuck he was talking about. Right. And they kicked him off the stage or whatever, like politely.
They did that to Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, because he was talking about some wildfire. Hey, look, he was accusing...
just happened.
Yeah, you didn't watch
on
the
news? Golden Globes?
Yeah, a couple days ago. He was talking about the wildfires, and he said,
that's great. Go Joaquin. Let all the people know. Let everybody can ever go save the freaking koalas. Anybody who's listening, go donate to Australia.
So that's what he said. He said, "Hey guys, it's not enough to just say, hey, we wish you well, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
He said, instead of saying we wish you well, you guys shouldn't be taking your private jets to like the whatever show in Miami, whatever. He was just basically saying, hey, you guys have so much excess.
Shout out to all the American firefighters that recently went over there.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
And then at that point, the Golden Globes they turned on the little music to like shut him up and kick him off the stage. Like, okay, you're done, bye bye. Yeah.
How dare you undercut our hypocrisy?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Also, you know what I say to the Golden Globes? Balls.
Okay, guys, we are at the 30-minute mark here, and I have one more piece of controversy. In recent news, and this ties back to the Aurora, Colorado tragedy, which occurred for the release of Dark Knight Rises. The Aurora, Colorado community, some of the parents had expressed outrage over one of their family members. And they're basically pointing to Warner Brothers. One of the quotes here that I found on social media was that we are outraged in the face of such carnage. Warner Brothers continues to profit from movies that depict fictional acts of gun violence while donating to lawmakers and candidates who make it easier for individuals to obtain firearms and commit acts of violence in the real world.
Yeah.
And they continue to say, we are outraged at your flippant and dismissive remarks about our very real concerns, and we are outraged that Warner Brothers has refused to meet the survivors of gun violence. And my question is, I agree. Why the fuck would Warner Brothers? What does Warner Brothers have anything to do with lobbying gun laws? Like who? What? Like, I'm completely missing the connection.
Yeah, then it shouldn't go after Warner Brothers. That's like
no, that's what I'm saying.
Also, singling out Warner Brothers is really weird because
have they seen the fucking Terminator? Have they heard of that movie?
Have they seen John Wick?
Have they seen John Wick?
Yeah.
What the fuck? This has like 2, 3 little scenes on a gun, on a revolver.
Well, I think those movies are more fantastical, and this one's supposed to be grounded in reality. And the violence,
Joker is supposed to be more grounded in reality. That's a real thing. This movie
specifically, yes. Yeah. The violence depicted in this is pretty graphic.
Have you seen the news as of yesterday?
What
I mean, you can just turn on any news channel, and it's times 90 of what this movie is.
Yeah, but that's the news, and those are war, and that's real things going on. This is sensationalizing a comic book hero in
That's my
in
point.
graphic ways for a billion
fiction.
people to watch.
Yeah, it's completely.
That's
It's a
not very-
made up little thing. It's a comic book character. And have you seen or have they seen the Terminator?
This
like,
movie
what the fuck are they talking about?
This movie does kind of like not that I agree with everything that they're saying, but this movie is kind of has weird undertones of like promoting violence.
Of course it does.
Like,
Have you seen any other movie in the past, like whenever you were alive?
no, but I mean like the way the city reacts to like the Joker, and like they're all on board with how some random clown guy killed some stockbrokers.
Who made
in
the
subway.
Purge? Why are they not going after the? What's
I'd go after
deal?
the Purge first.
What's the deal? What? I don't get it. I'm missing the whole shit.
Because this movie made
whole
$1 billion.
shtick?
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want to be
Yeah.
famous on social media.
Yeah.
They want to get their names. They want the likes.
Yep.
They want the Facebook, likes and all that. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Or
Like,
$3 billion.
who
Whatever.
the
it made.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you?
That's why they're
They
going
want-
after that studio, is because they have all that fucking money.
They're not
to,
even
like,
going
whatever.
after like a person. They're going after a company. Hello. The goal of that company is to make money, and they succeeded. Was it based off a dude that made some violence? Yeah. Is it a made up fictional story? Yeah. So they're not lobbyists, right? If they want, they should be writing.
I don't
they
know.
should write this to
What
their
is this?
senators.
Where did you hear this from? And
Yeah,
like
it's all over the news.
they do this. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't know. That's
They're
what I'm
just singling out anything. I mean, saying
That's
this
what
is
I
like
got-
a common thing that
That's
happens.
my point. It's just the outrage for outrage. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, let's
Joker's hot right now. Go after Joker.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point that I'm
Yeah.
trying to make. That's the point that I'm
I
trying
need
to
a
make.
train noise so we can get on the outrage train.
Yeah.
Exactly. Choo choo choo. No, seriously.
I figured. I don't know. What else is there to say about it?
I'm outraged at the outrage that they're going at the
Outrage,
fucking Warner
outrage
Brothers. Yeah,
train.
like
You're the other train
like,
chasing
seriously.
the outrage.
Yeah, I
train.
swear to God.
Cool,
I'm like,
yeah,
what the
all
fuck?
right.
Like, okay, I get it. Duh. No one likes gun violence. No shit. Who the fuck wants people dying in random communities? Nobody.
Yeah,
but
duh.
why would
War's
you
bad.
go after a movie studio? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah, well, I don't know what they're trying to gain there. What
they're
are they?
trying to get
What
likes.
what are they asking for?
they want
Attention?
them. Yeah, they want attention. They probably want money. Who the fuck else knows? I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's just the.
But this movie is, I mean, because it is a Joker movie, it should be promoting violence because he is an evil superhero
That's my
villain movie. It's
point.
rated
It's a
R.
fucking
It's
movie.
a different take
Yeah.
on the character. All those things. It's like supposed to be real and grounded.
Right.
But yeah, none of that. Me not even think about all of the in the news and all of the crap. It did kind of hit me like weird, like how everybody's like so on board with. I mean, Gotham is supposed to be portrayed in a crazy ass shitty place, and then this is a really good way to do it. Where it's like, oh, some random clown killed some dude in the subway. Let's fucking riot. They killed some rich dudes. Let's fucking kill some rich dudes too. And they're like, it didn't take much for. I mean, well, actually, the TV thing that's what set off the riots, right? Because we shot him on TV.
No,
It was before that.
No,
No,
it was
because there were
before.
not riots going
It-
on while there's a TV
It was
show. going on, is
it
there?
was the thing
active
that set it
shooting
off
that-
was the shooting of the 3 stockbrokers on the train.
No,
and
but that's what started the craze about the Joker, where people were like wearing the masks around town. Like he's
The
getting
riot started-
supporters. Yeah.
The riot started because there was a protest. Or
Oh, the protest. Yeah.
protest happened, but then while the protest was happening, he shot the TV host on.
Yeah. Okay.
So that galvanized the crowd.
That's what. Okay. That's
shocked,
what kicked
shocked
it off.
everyone to action.
Yeah.
Action.
Action.
And action.
Okay.
All right. So speaking on controversy,
Why does he climb into the fridge?
he's
he needs a
psycho.
little.
He's a freaking-
Because he's psycho. He needs a little hole to climb
Dude,
into.
this is
stuffed
what,
in a fridge?
Yeah.
this is what crazy people do.
I
So
guess.
just,
He's
like literally,
flipped
this
and
is what
tied with
crazy
a
people
chest
do.
of
I swear to
meatballs.
God.
Yeah. Or he paints his tongue with the makeup. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, he's crazy.
Yeah, painting
And a lot
tongue.
of this part where he's like, well, back and forth, what's real and what's not, and that the thing plays with like where he's like asking him about his laugh in the card, and it's like up to interpretation for like the audience. Like, is it part of his act, or is it he's just crazy? Is that because he's like psycho, like evil crazy, or is that really his laugh? Is it really his condition? Like they never really say
All
in the
of the
movie.
above.
Well, that's cool. That's the cool thing.
It's like
It
his
le-
like
it leaves-
scars thing in
it
the other
leaves
movie.
it open.
Yeah,
It leaves
yeah,
it- I mean, you can see in some scenes where he forces a laugh uncontrollably. He forces
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like when they're making
and,
fun of his
and that's when
comedian
I was
friends.
watching it too, because I was like, I was like, it feels like he's just forcing.
But in
like,
other times, it looks like he's in social situations where
Yeah.
he can't really interact.
I was
He
like,
doesn't know what
is
to do.
the
It's kinda
actor
like his-
forcing it, or is the Joker forcing
It's kind of like his
it?
defense mechanism.
And
He's
I
like,
guess that's good acting.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, and a lot of the parts where I was like, is he really gonna go on the show? Is that real? Is that in his head with the like crazy how his girlfriend down the hall is not really his girl, it's just a lady down the hall. He's like totally delusional, made up the whole story. and,
Zazie
like, all this
Beetz,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
She does awesome in this movie. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
her.
Yeah, where's she from?
She's from Germany, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Germany. I meant what movies and stuff.
Oh, Deadpool 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Domino.
Yeah,
She's
Deadpool
Domino.
2,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Um,
Cool.
She was also in a cool basketball movie where she plays like a senior in high school. I forget the name of it. But that guy, Shannon. God, what's the actor's name? I got to look it up. Yeah, I think it's called
Elizabeth.
No, the movie is called like I don't know, it's the basketball team is Wolves. Anyway, whatever. Who cares? She's been in a lot of stuff, so she's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like another bunch of people talking about on the internet is if he
On the interwebs,
killed his neighbor or not because they don't show anything.
which neighbor?
And he didn't do a weird death dance afterwards, so I'm leaning towards he didn't kill her. He
Zazie
just kind of
Beetz?
left. Yeah, when he figures out that remember, she's like, "Oh, you're in the wrong apartment."
well,
She's like, "Is your mom around?" She's like, she like,
No,
no. And he
he-
realizes they're not a thing, and he's just crazy.
no. In the final scene, he has blood all over his shoes and he's dancing.
No, that's the final scene.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's indicative of him committing a crime or a murder.
Yeah,
When
because
he does dance after he kills somebody every time.
No, I'm saying, but
given
I think so.
Given that he didn't dance, it's probably he didn't kill her.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Yeah,
That's what I was leaning towards.
That's
Is
my
like
point,
he
yeah.
didn't. Is it? But yeah, is that what you guys think too? I guess?
yeah,
He's
yeah. I
kinda
totally
walked
agree
out,
with that.
yeah.
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 Given how much care they've shown to illustrate that, I would figure they'd have to. They wouldn't want to leave that too ambiguous.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Getting back to controversy and media or internet news or whatever.
Interwebs.
He steals the
Interweb-
files. This is awesome.
Yeah. Before HIPAA.
Yeah, before HIPAA ever existed, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, she's a nutbag."
Yeah.
Maybe you want to request this through an application.
He's like, oh, wait a minute, this is about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But getting back to the controversy, there was a lot of. I have a little point I want to make. There was a whole bit of like online thing about, oh, this is a movie for incels. This is going to cause violence. This is. We don't need a movie.
We're back to the incels.
Yeah.
We don't need a movie celebrating white people violence or something.
Yeah.
What?
It's celebrating Joker violence. He just happens to be crazy
Oh
white.
god, I'm
and
gonna
skinny.
go off again. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna
Okay.
lose it. I'm gonna. Okay.
And
So
then
what
that was all,
happened?
this is all leading up to the movie where everyone was like afraid. Everyone was like stroking themselves into a panic. Oh, there's going to be another shooting.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Aurora. And like I even went to the theater and there's like a little signs printed up saying "Don't be violent" or something, or this is a fictional violence, does not encourage real violence or something.
Yeah,
they
'cause
have to have
people are
their,
dumb.
Their disclaimer.
Somebody's gonna love this movie.
And
I'm the
then-
Joker
What
too.
was really disgusting to behold was the
I
media's
identify with the Joker.
I identify as a Joker. I'm
This
the Joker.
movie's about me. I can do it too.
Yeah. Well, that's the school shooting effect, you know. But what was really disgusting was the media's collective letdown when there wasn't any major violence.
Yeah. No one
Yeah,
said
there's
anything
no
about that.
story.
They were really
They
pissed
had-
about that.
they
They
really
couldn't
got-
really say it out
Yeah,
loud.
it was
Yeah.
a financial success.
Yeah.
And
has
no
a
one got
huge-
shot.
What else could they talk about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now they're like, oh shit. Everything that we wanted.
All the
to,
news
like,
people are. I can't believe no one got.
Yeah.
No one
killed
got
at a
massacred.
theater.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to report on.
This
oh
movie's
shit.
so violent. It
Right.
promotes violence so well. Can't believe nobody wanted to
Right.
kill
There was
everybody
on
afterward.
one of the news little one on the interwebs. There was like a Halloween shooting in some random college area, whatever the hell, when this movie was out. And of course, the front page, a little picture or whatever, was the Joker mask
Right.
or a clown mask.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Nothing to
even
do
though it
with
had nothing to do with the movie. It was. I was like, "Are you kidding me? These people are reaching."
Oh yeah.
Right.
So
They're trying to promote. They're pushing this like their society's pushing Joker over the edge.
Right. And this movie kind
They're
of
trying to
addresses
push
that.
society over to like
a little
fucking
bit.
kill each other over the
This movie-
Joker.
this
Right.
Look how evil he is.
This
Yeah.
movie does try to address the effect of society on influencing people.
Yeah.
And it does so in a way that's not particularly kind to the media. It's subtle, but it's in there. The way they present the news is like making a hero out of the Joker. And because his actions he gets known or notoriety because the news keeps talking about his actions. His face, his clown mask are all over the newspapers. They talk about it on TV.
So hot right now.
Yeah, Joker's hot right now.
it's hot. Let's put anything associated to the term J, to the letter J, and just add it on there.
Right.
And
And
guys,
then, oh, yeah.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, that's-
But the point being is that there was controversy about it, and then afterwards, when it turned out to be more of a character study than a glorification of violence, people had different takes on it. And just a couple of things. Just one, the use of Charles Chaplin I thought was really interesting, and it just shows how much care they put into the thematic elements of this movie.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin wears roller skating all
right
over
on
the
edge.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
just a brief sidebar on Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin is actually like the opposite of the Joker in so many ways that it's thematically appropriate they chose it. Just for brief background, Charlie Chaplin, poor boy, came from England, immigrant, lived the American dream, became rich, made a movie called The Great Dictator, which was a parody of Adolf Hitler, and was like the most famous person of his era. And
Was he
so-
like the first movie star?
one of the first big movie stars?
Oh wow, cool.
He actually was so powerful as a movie star, and he was so communist, they said, oh, let's make our own studio because we're the guys making the movies. And so he wrote and directed and acted in his own movies,
Huh.
formed United Artists. And when he made The Great Dictator, apparently, this is the anecdote, is that Franklin Roosevelt called him into the White House and said, Charlie, sit down. Your movie's giving us a lot of trouble in the Argentine. Which is when you know you made a worthwhile movie, when the president
When the president calls you in,
it says, "What are you doing here?"
dude, that's funny.
You're having an effect on people.
Right, because
You're actually he was the first social media influencer.
Influencer.
right. The point being that there was a lot of German immigrants in Argentina, and they were of course sympathetic to Nazi Germany before the war. Afterwards, maybe a different story. And his movie was a spoof poking fun at Adolf Hitler.
Jesus.
The
Dude,
point being,
talk about history.
Yeah, he was a clown though. That's the point. Charlie Chaplin's most famous persona was the tramp, the homeless guy. So all his characters he played were like the little homeless guy, the little guy causing anarchy.
Yeah.
But he's also immensely rich and successful and influential up and through the 40s. Then after that, his popularity declined because of sound. The point being, Joker is like wants to be that guy. He's a clown. He's a poor boy. He wants to be make people happy and maybe have an impact.
What his mom told him.
Dude, you know what? The one of the
then-
scenes. Go ahead.
The rich people are all laughing at Charlie Chaplin, even while he's raking in the money. Everyone's laughing at Joker, and he can't handle it and starts shooting. So just different responses, but they draw the thematic parallels. The roles clowns have and what's expected of them, how you're expected to respond to them.
Dude, the one of the scenes where right before he kills his mom, he's like, "I used to think my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a fucking comedy." I was like, "Ooh, dude, that'll
Yeah.
that'll drive you nuts."
Or he's practicing being on the show. Who
Yeah.
who hasn't done this?
Yeah.
He's not crazy.
Dude, I've never done that.
You never practiced being on a talk show?
It's
No
called
way.
rehearsal.
Oh, whoops.
I don't rehearse.
Yeah, it's actually
I don't rehearse.
Swear to God.
it's actually the least crazy thing he does.
Yeah.
He rehearses his bit coming
Yeah.
down to the show.
We are coming up on the 43-minute mark, guys.
All right.
I like
Right.
the punch out joke that he made when he left his work.
Oh,
And he's got to
I
be.
forgot to punch out.
Yeah. He comes back.
Yeah,
for it,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
And also, who the hell brings a goddamn gun to a children's hospital?
Dude, he's
Yeah.
nuts.
He's
So, yeah,
gotta be
all
crazy.
his buddies were like,
Oh,
"Are you-"
and they take him off his meds, so that just like makes him even more crazy. I thought that was kind of silly.
Oh, he lost the social services.
Yeah,
Right.
so they cut off his
benefits.
cut off
so
his
then
med-
he went
yeah.
off his meds.
That's
Yeah.
And that's
also
a
makes him even
Another
more
topic
crazy.
of discussion. We talk for another 20 minutes on that.
Oh God.
What?
Class
Here's
war-
his crazy
The
dance.
social services, government programs.
Class warfare, identity politics. Why Gotham is such a
Shithole.
such a tinder pile is ready to blow up into an explosion.
Oh yeah,
fire.
yeah.
There's a lot of things going on.
It's
and
the Waynes.
they kind of talk about, but they
Ew.
can't really get into. And then also, I think part of the reason the media is so disappointed because it doesn't follow the usual talking points. It's not an evil corporation to blame. You know
Who's
what I
that?
mean?
Who's Love Your Smile? Who's that?
No, he's just finding some random picture in a room.
Well, the initials are TW.
Oh,
But-
but he thinks it's Thomas Wayne.
It could be.
Or
anyone.
no, I think the mom wrote
The
Thomas
mom.
Wayne.
She
yeah,
could have wrote
yeah.
that down herself.
She-
She
yeah,
probably wrote it
she's
herself.
psycho.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Psychobat.
For a second there, I thought that it could have been real, that he was his son or something there. Because the
For a
way
second.
Alfred reacted, he's like, "Oh, you're her son," and I was like, "Oh, he already knows all about it."
Yo.
But then he's like, "There's
And then
nothing
he,
to tell."
yeah, and then he's like, "No, your mom's just crazy.
Yeah.
Don't make a fool of yourself."
Oh, you guys had to rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10.
Let's the little guy live. I like that. 1 to 10. I give it 8.5.
JVR.
Yeah, I'm tempted to give it between 8.5 and 9. I'm kind of leaning towards 9. Is that impressive? Even on the second viewing. Usually I reserve my right to review things, but after seeing this a couple of times.
You just
after-
watched it, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it, then watched it again, and then then yet again.
Now you can review it, right?
So yeah, I'm tempted to give it.
Damn, you
gonna
suck.
go ahead and give it a full on 9.
9 out of 10. And then Johnny Walker, you said, what'd you say, 8.5? Or
Yeah, I'll give it 8.5.
okay, 8.5. And
Just because it's like a decent take on the Joker, even though I don't agree with all the decisions they made in the movie. Like I think a lot of it could have been cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just. It reminds me of the Unbreakable and Glass and Split, like a good grounded superhero like take on what would be going on in the world if these things were happening.
Right.
If these people existed, or how could these people exist in the real world, or like
Right.
Yeah.
finding some kind of like explanation. Like
Yeah.
he's off his meds, he's psycho, he wants to be a comedian, everybody's laughing at him, like you said, like
Yeah.
the society pushes him over the edge, so he's gonna push back finally, and he realizes he can have a vast effect in the way he pushes back, so he just goes full force on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole Joker persona and all that, everything.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, but they made an even more grounded movie than Batman Begins.
Yeah. True. Very
Yeah.
true.
But yeah, just because, and I didn't really, and I feel spoiled from all the other Marvel movies and all the other comic book movies where it is tied to everything,
Dude,
blah,
I don't know
blah.
why you.
And I was like, because that's why I didn't see it in the theater. And like, I'm like, if it's Joker without Batman, I'm like half as interested. You know, it's like half the other coin's not there. But they did it. They did a really good job. I don't really like the choice of song for this dance scene
because of the guy.
It's like so no, not because of the guy. I didn't even realize that it was going. I mean, I heard about that, but I didn't remember until you brought that up. But yeah, I just thought it was silly the way. I thought it was just really cheesy. I thought they could have picked a better song.
Like
That's
what's
the
going on in his
point.
head. It's
I know it's to the max effect. I was like, leading up to this point in the movie, you don't really see anything like this.
Well, this is
this kind of
this
like,
is like the pivotal
this
point where
is
he's like fully
full.
unleashed.
Yeah, he's full Joker. Yeah.
All right, guys. John Daniels here.
But yeah, what I was saying I felt spoiled by the Marvel movies where it isn't connected. I'm like halfway as interested. No, Batman not even in it. Halfway as interested. That's why I waited to see it on Blu-ray. But it is really fun and it is really cool. And you can't have, and like the Shyamalan movies, you can't have a fun, grounded, interesting take on superheroes in general, and this time the Joker. And yeah, just like I feel like the Wayne time was kind of didn't need to be there. I felt like he could have stood alone by himself, and then maybe just in the background dealing with the Waynes or something, not directly his son or some crap like that. But yeah, good movie, good stuff. 8.5.
Okay, guys. John Daniels here. John Daniels. So I will give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. And you might ask me why, but I'll tell you that right now.
10 out of 10? Whoa.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I think it's a great movie.
Why?
Holistically.
But the
as
bullets,
a whole,
they missed
I know the bullets and the light in the corner wasn't properly lit. It was 4,000 lumens. Yeah, no, I don't
that's
nitpick
editing.
all the little shitty little
That's
things.
storytelling. That's editing.
All the
Storytelling.
little nitpicking. I get it. Yes, you can call out the 8 shots out of the revolver in the scene where he goes after the 3 stockbrokers. Some people say, hey, he could have reloaded, but a lot of people say there wasn't enough time in the scene switch.
I say it's intentional. Either for
as
what Jimmy was saying or for what I was saying. It's got to be
JVR
intentional.
said it could be a variation of what he's depicting himself in his situation, which is a very, very good argument. I think that's actually key. This movie goes back. It shows that all the scenes where he was with
cool as a
Zazie
Joker.
Beetz. Yeah, they like didn't exist. It's all in his head. So they're variations of, or they maybe just didn't even
like
exist.
this part. Like
So I think it's number one, financially successful, remarkable, world-renowned, $1 billion mark. It is the highest R-rated revenue movie in the history of R-rated movies. So that like right there, I think that's complete success. That's part of my reason why I give it 10 out of 10. Number two, it is a DC movie that doesn't have 9,000 different CGI editors and effects people like making you with flying little bats, like Batman versus Superman. They have the flying like bats from Wizard of Oz or whatever the hell, right? In some cheesy hell-ring scene.
There's actually a lot of CGI in here, but it's actually done so subtly.
But it's not
shooting, right?
It's not like
you know what I want to see is the 50 million. I want to see the same kind of take on 50 million budget and make a Batman movie.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Do it.
So number one, financial success. Number two, I think it was just unique.
For the batsuit.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the batsuit. Alfred's going to charge you $50 million for the batsuit and the little wings, the little bat ears. Number one. Number two, it was unique. He is a very unique character, a very different character. And like JVR said, it's really just a kind of, it's very aligned with Batman Begins. Origin story, solid, very grounded, very freakishly different, very cool. And I think it was just a masterpiece just from like, again, holistically. I'm not going to nitpick and dig through every little scene and one little blood splatter that doesn't look right to me. I'm going to say, oh, no, that can't be right.
Preemptive death dance right here.
Right. It always has these, the themes are very consistent. He has this death dance after every kill. He goes into his own little mode.
The force moves darkly around the creature about to kill.
We didn't talk anything about this last scene here or the last riots and everything like that.
Do we need to?
I don't know.
It was just someone told me that they were surprised by it because it was the most brutal murder they'd like seen on screen.
Yeah, I thought this.
Have they ever seen
I was
the
watching
fucking Terminator?
No. The way the scene is set up,
in terms of brutality, it's random violence.
It is, dude. Like I was.
Have you
tense.
seen The Purge?
No, dude, I was tense watching this movie because I was like, he's gonna kill himself or we're gonna kill Robert De Niro, and I was like, this is about to happen, and it happened. I was like, damn, and I knew it was coming, and I was still shocked because of the way the scene is set up, and you're watching a talk show. It feels like you're watching a talk show, and it's like shot like that too.
Yeah,
and Joaquin Phoenix is acting like as if he would be acting on a talk show in real life.
Yeah. If only he shot Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, but I thought it was very impactful. Yeah, I was like, damn.
I immediately apologized for that.
So
No,
it's
no,
like
that's
it's graphic
all right.
violence
It's good.
right
It's
there,
fine.
and it's effective too. And they did their
Yeah.
job. You know, it was graphic and violent and visceral and effective. And I was like, and I was tense when I was watching it too. I was like, shit.
Okay, guys.
And the
51-minute
riots,
mark.
everything afterwards. I was like,
All right,
that
yeah,
was
Hey,
we
really
got
everyone
cool.
knows.
distracted
Everyone
here.
knows the scenes. Any last final thoughts before we close up?
I liked how he already has people working for him, like not working for him by accident, but
Who?
when the riot after he gets taken away in the police car, he's on the way there. He's like, there, he's already detained. Blah blah blah. I don't know if the ambulance hit the cop car intentionally or if they knew that he was already in there, like that they're going after him to save the Joker because that's what started this riot. And then like I don't know, he's already affected his world, so he's already got almost people working for him. Just for doing this crazy, shooting that dude on live TV.
Yeah, he's got
already-
his subs.
He's got his name, he's got his Joker, he's got his face, he's got his
Immortality.
yeah. So and like that's, he didn't even do anything. He's already got people working for him. They're already dragging him out,
Yeah,
saving him from
smart businessman.
saving him from the cop car and all that other crap. So he's people are ready to go.
Yeah.
JVR.
Final thoughts?
Anything?
Well, it was an amazing character study, and just so you know, this is a villain protagonist, so you're not meant to support the Joker, but you are meant to understand his actions. I do like that aspect of it, and it just requires a little bit more from your audience, and it's such a well-crafted movie in terms of scene placements, lighting, characterization lines, everything. You can tell a lot of work went into this, and every ounce of that work is on screen, and that I think it's a really amazing accomplishment for the budget they had.
Yeah. Todd Phillips is a young director. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna have many more to come.
Yeah,
this
really
like,
good job.
I mean, people knew him from The Hangover, yeah, but no one really knew him. But now everybody
This
knows
is
his name.
yeah.
Everybody knows his name.
I could tell this dude's like yeah.
Yeah, he's
he's
a young
making
guy.
some good
He's a
stuff.
young guy.
Everyone working on this movie, unlike the Joker, was firing on all cylinders.
Oh. Okay, guys. I think that'll wrap it up. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tune in next week to I don't know. We'll figure out something. But thanks so much. Take it easy, guys.
Love that.